Hello from beautiful Fort Worth. We're here at the second day of the ASI Show, and I'm joined by the wonderful, electric Mimi Brown. Mimi, thanks so much for joining us today, and thank you for giving that awesome keynote just a little while ago.
It was my pleasure. Nice to be here. It's an awesome crowd.
Awesome. So glad to hear that. So loved your keynote. Just loved your messaging and your energy. One of the things that you talked about that I think really resonated with me was this sort of shifting your mindset. Right? You said like the first sale needs to be to yourself. I just love that idea. And I think that definitely works for people who are just like naturally confident, right? Who have that belief in themselves. But we know some people aren't like that. They're just they have negativity, or they have just those doubts and concerns. So for people like that, like how do they build up that confidence in themselves first?
I think the first key, CJ, really is to take inventory of your achievements. At the very end, I talked about celebrating. We don't do enough of that. So when you do land that sale, whether it's bigger or smaller, that client, celebrate it and then reflect back on those moments. What did you do that made you successful? And I really believe when you show up as the authentic version of yourself, that's when people gravitate towards you.
Yeah, I really like that idea. You know, you want to be true to yourself, right, in a positive way. It's interesting the dichotomy that you were discussing, because like you want people to really believe in themselves, right, and the power of themselves, but at the same point they have to put the focus on their customers, and you're talking about just understanding their concerns, really diving deep. So like how do you strike that balance, like again, like believing in yourself, like putting yourself first, but at the same point like focusing on your customer? How do you balance the two?
I think it's the attitude that you have about the product that you sell, right? Like that needs to come from a genuine place of I believe that I'm creating value for people, and that because I'm providing the best possible offer for them, that alone gives me confidence. I can have confidence in the product, and also that gives me confidence in myself. But then how do I make sure that I'm elevating the conversation but really listening? And that's another point that I reflected on or focused on in the presentation, is how do you make sure you're really hearing your clients or your customers and what they need to be successful? And so that's when you take the ego out of it, because you're presenting yourself initially, but then take all that off and focus in on them.
Yeah, I loved your exercise where we were just asking open-ended questions. I thought that was a really fun exercise.
And it's hard, right? Because we're not accustomed to, like, oh, I just want to just interject really quick.
I know, always want to answer yourself. And I thought that was great. So what's the one thing that you want people here today to take away, maybe it's the first thing they do after this show?
Really actually is to focus on the second habit, which is to elevate every exchange with someone. How can you continue to level up? And it can be in small ways. Is it I'm focusing on listening more? Am I preparing before I have a conversation with a pre-call planning guide? Am I interjecting more information into my CRM so I know and I'm building rapport? Am I noting that they have a dog or a cat named Sammy and that they love them, right? Like being able to put information together that creates that connection, because really we're in the relationship business.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much again for joining us here today.
My pleasure.
All right, and thank you everybody for watching, and have a great rest of your week.